Welcome to GC Cars. My name is Eric.
And I'm Jesse.
And this is a Ford Expedition King Ranch. Unlike the King Ranch, which is styled after the largest ranch in the United States, located in southern Texas, we don't get quite Texas weather here in Canada.
Southern Texas right now.
Ooh, it's a bit cold, but as always, we're going to evaluate this one. Looking at the exterior first, and we're looking at the interior, then we're going to drive it and see how it compares to the Tahoe and our upcoming review of the GMC Yukon Denali. Starting off with the exterior.
This specimen is wild green.
Which, first of all, I appreciate a cool. I don't love this color.
I love green, but
yeah,
not like
this green is a little like kind of muted, numb, but overall I still appreciate it. I love the Ford Expedition and it's like, and the blue they offer. Yeah. But I think it's, even though this is a couple years old, I think it looks still pretty sharp.
The front end looks sharp.
I love the wheels
with our King Ranch logo on it.
So it takes it takes kind of priority over the Ford logo, which is kind of interesting. At the side, of course, we got our big King Ranch logos. By the way, King Ranch is not owned by Ford, if you maybe thought that's the case. They just pay for the licensing.
Our side steps that open up as you open the door, which is nice.
Yep, and then go into the back real quick because we're freezing to death. That's probably
kind of like it kind of falls apart. It looks a little bit dated for me in the back. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little like, eh. And because it's a short version, it's not the max. It looks a little stubby.
Kind of falls off.
Yeah. Overall, though, I still very much like the Expedition. I think I'd prefer it over the Tahoe's look.
But the interior is where we're really looking.
Let's get warm. Inside the King Ranch Expedition. Oh, first of all, nice and warm. Heated seats are all on. It is quite nice in here.
It's nice and homey.
Right? So I was surprised actually by how nice this is because we've been in the top trim Ford F-150s and they're not this nice.
No, this is a little step higher.
Right, especially I love the leather up here, and of course because this is the King Ranch, we have all the leathers and they have the brown kind of theming. We have the running W, right? Yeah, like let's go. Let's just drive down to somewhere warmer where we don't look at this. Jesus Christ,
it's so windy.
Woo! But yeah, so generally this is F-150 based. There is a lot of similarity between this and an F-150.
Well, not this actually, but
well, technically the Lightning has that screen, yes. Right? But we have the same center stack minus the proper shifter. We have all the functionality that we have in the F-150. We have the double center consoles, or glove boxes, sorry. It's very usable, it's very comfortable, and for the most part, materials are quite nice.
Yeah, you got soft touch pretty much. I mean, this is harder up here, and you got harder over here, but everything else is quite nice.
Yeah, I like it. And these seats, heated, ventilated, and super comfy.
Lots of adjustability.
Yeah, what I love about the Ford seats is you can put the headrest, you can just kind of snap it forward, you reset it, and then you can have all the steps, so you can always have it in the perfect spot. And this part here,
speaking of the headrest, that's really
oh my god, this is so cool.
I like little touches like that.
Yeah, and it's like a little stitch on, and it looks really nice. Big fan of a lot in front of you. Tiny little thing is I love that we have a vent up here, because you can put your arm up here and have warm or cold. So even if you have the window open, this kind of also creates a bit of a shield in terms of the air coming in and out. It is quite nice. But let's talk about the infotainment.
I mean, I'm not a fan of this layout.
Yeah.
Multiple reasons. I don't like the way it looks personally. I don't like that half of your screen is lower than I like to look while I'm driving. Yeah. Like if you want to adjust your heated seats or anything, it's just like your peripheral vision is just gone. We really like the regular screen in the F-150 that is better integrated. It works so well. I think it's a little faster. Sometimes it's still a little slow. What they did change though is this volume dial now is actually contact based. So if I go to my heated seats, for example, now this is also, I can either use the touch buttons. I like that.
Or I can use this, same for my vents. So it's definitely an improvement over the previous versions. That said, I still prefer the more integrated screen. It just cleans it up a little bit, and I don't think this gives me any functionality that the other screen doesn't have. I mean, we can, where is it? We can play games on here, entertainment. We can play lane change if you want to, get some hardcore gaming in.
Lanes?
Well, hopefully not. But like some hardcore gaming here once it loads. And look, it's a little Expedition. And it's like, wow. Oh, I don't think I can hit that. This is like Toronto traffic. This is like average Toronto driving here. Guys, this is what you see on the 401 and the DVP. Like this guy here.
Yeah.
We slammed into one. A little bit of insurance fraud.
None of these guys are changing lanes while signaling, of course.
Yeah. Oh, this Ford GT. Look at that guy. Oh, okay, let's just wreck it. There you high score.
Jeez, that's scary.
Dude, I'm just a gamer. No, I think front end, like, there's a lot to like. I like this.
The gauge cluster is the same across the board.
Yes, I love these animations. I just can never get enough of them. And we don't have I would like a digital rearview mirror.
Two big negatives for me for this price range. This and no heads-up display.
And no heads-up display. Like, yeah. I'm wondering, like, the F-150 is getting one for 2024, so I'm wondering if we're gonna get an update here. But so far, no. Rear seat experience.
Second row is really good.
Yeah,
really
it's
good.
So comfortable. You can recline all the way. You can like slide forward and backwards. You have heated seats on both sides. There really isn't anything to complain about. You have a big sunroof to look out of.
Yep.
And then if you want to go even further into the third row,
it's a little bit dicey, but
still like some of the best third rows you're probably gonna find. I think the Tahoe is a little better, but it's been a while since I've been in that one, to be fair. Overall, I like it. You have USB-A, you have a 12-volt on the right-hand side, you have cup holders and all of that. But there's one issue.
There's two things. First of all, if you're 6 feet tall, tight.
Yeah, like headroom is a little on the tighter side.
And
but
second of all, that seatbelt, what do you even call that? Seatbelt harness?
I get that seat. I
don't know how that passed safety standards, because you will crush your skull on that if you get into an accident.
Yeah, it's a little sketchy. So if only one person sits in the back, maybe put them all the way to the passenger side.
Just, put a helmet on. I don't know.
Put a helmet on if you can fit.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah. So I don't know. That's a weird one. But
and then trunk.
Of course, this is not the max, so it's a little small. It's a bit over 20 cubic feet of space all the way. Of course, it's very vertical, so it's going to fit that much space. But how often are you going to use the third row and the back? Probably not often. If you put down the second row, you obviously get a lot more. With the third row down, you get 3.6 cubic feet of space, which is plenty. And if you go into full-on hauling mode, you get over 100 cubic feet of space with the second row down.
Fit a lot of bodies in there.
It can fit a lot of bodies. Actually, I used it twice already. I filled this up. Once was boxes. We moved from an office to like a locker, and then I went to IKEA to get some furniture because subcompact SUVs aren't that great for that. But this is exactly when you load this up, digital rearview mirror would be really nice because you're blocking that view.
Again, it's like should be standard.
I agree.
It's not that. It doesn't cost them that much money, let's be honest.
Speaking of standard, we have a twin-turbo V6 as standard. Smooth segue, right? Should we test it out on the road?
Let's take it for a little brake torque.
Let's go. All right, let's go for an expedition out in the cold north. We're gonna put into sport mode. We're in 4 auto.
It's supposed to be 5 seconds. Let's see if it's 5 seconds.
We'll see. I told you those EcoBoosts, they launch pretty hard. Brake torque. I told you it launched pretty hard. And
yeah, about 5 seconds.
Right. We totally didn't hit 100, of course. But yeah, like this goes pretty well.
That initial jolt was nice.
Right? Like I like how these go. We're back to normal, go back to too high for maximum efficiency. Well, almost maximum. We're not going to eco quite yet. Screw eco mode. We have a 3.5 liter twin turbo EcoBoost V6 producing 400 horsepower and 480 pound-feet of torque.
Not too shabby.
And it goes pretty well. Yeah. Moves.
Doesn't sound too bad. I heard a little turbo noise there.
Yeah, you have that intake, right? That's like.
I mean, the engine's pretty much all intake, so.
Yeah. I like this engine generally. You can get this actually with a higher output in some packages, upping horsepower to 440 and torque to over 500.
Right?
So, yeah, just
so
different tune. You can probably get the tune.
You can tune it yourself.
And I like this though. The thing is, at
15, 16. Oh,
after idling, yeah, but like so, this is a lot of city driving, congestion up. But 16.6 liters right now for like 300 kilometers or something that I drove. Like a 5.0 Coyote V8 would not fare any worse, I think. Or maybe a liter, and it would be like, you have a V8.
Yeah.
I'm like, I like this engine, but it's not a V8. I dislike it solely because it's not a V8. That makes sense.
That's a fair dislike, especially if you're not really saving much on the fuel side.
Right. But obviously, big SUVs are meant to take corners at exceedingly fast speeds. So back in the sport mode, we are switching into 4 auto by doing that. And then we'll see how this handles this baby. And I'm actually going to swing her wide a little bit so I can turn her in. Actually powered me out pretty good. Like I didn't want to go too hard on the turn in, but it actually, we've had cars perform significantly worse. Yeah. So back into normal and to high. Finishing up the drivetrain. It's not a V8. We can still though tow 9,200 pounds because we have the max towing package. And I love this 10-speed.
I was gonna say, paired with this transmission.
Yeah, it's like it is. It's not a. The only issue for me is that I know it's not a V8. The drivetrain by itself is, and the fuel economy, but it's a really smooth drivetrain. And you'll see right here, we're gonna come up to a hill. The transmission is gonna do that 1 or 2 downshifts. There's 1 downshift. I can get in another one here. There you go. Yep. And it's just smooth, quick, well-tuned. We've had the suspension in the Escalade and the Raptors in the back. It's such a good transmission. I love it. But do you want to step behind the wheel?
Pull over, baby.
Okay. I just love big SUVs.
They're definitely a vibe.
They're just so comfortable. So freaking comfortable.
Smooth. Floaty, but not in too much of a boaty way.
Yeah, it feels controlled still. So we actually have an upgraded suspension, which is like $1,500 Canadian, which reads the road up ahead. So it has like sensors and stuff that kind of adapts the suspension as we go to prepare for whatever impact may come up ahead. And it rides really well.
Gotta say, I really like those brakes.
The brakes are amazing, right? I love the tuning of them. Oh yeah, and just the right amount of power, honestly. Yeah. It feels really good. It's comfy, it rides well, highway, city, everywhere. Noise-wise, it's okay.
It's definitely a little noisier than I like on the highway. And we even went through a car wash today, and like we had to yell at each other. It
like full on yell.
Yell.
Because like it had like the sprayers, like it wasn't touchless. So once it hit the roof in the back, that's what when it got really loud.
And we took the Escalade through the same car wash. It wasn't as noticeably loud.
Yeah. Of course, that's still another price range, but even on the highway today, admittedly,
it's a windy day.
It's a windy day, but there's just a touch bit of noise more. Here right now, it's pretty good. It's just once you step above those like 60 miles an hour, 100 kilometers an hour, that's when it gets a bit more loud. Overall, though, like the whole combination, I still very much like. I find this very, very relaxing to drive.
Yep, and driving tech?
We have a bunch. We don't have Blue Cruise, but seeing as that never works for us, I don't mind.
I'm actually surprised though. Why wouldn't this have Blue Cruise?
I'm pretty sure you can get it optional, but this one doesn't have it. And I'm like, I'm okay with that because I put the price up like $3,000 more, and
for a function that doesn't work.
Yeah, I don't know. It might just be my touch, but actually yours, it didn't work for you either. So, we have adaptive cruise control, active lane centering. They are combined, so you can't do one without you can't do the active lane centering without adaptive cruise control.
I want to know why that is though. So many manufacturers do that.
Yeah,
there's a reason. I don't know why.
It's a really good system. The problem is the steering wheel wants to wiggle. It doesn't have a good kind of detection of your wheel, so your hands on the wheel, so you have to kind of wiggle it, which negates the benefit to kind of like a lot. Blind spot monitoring, which is quite useful because that door handle, that handle,
there's not a lot of visibility, which is why we should have that LCD.
Yes, that would be really nice. Like the visibility is a little compromised because these handles are just right in your blind spot, like right where you check your blind spot.
It's just a weird spot, honestly.
And otherwise, of course, emergency braking. Driving tech, totally fine. Doesn't like step above like a Tahoe. You can get Super Cruise,
right?
Which is really nice. This, like I said, Blue Cruise, but however it may work, which I think leaves us with the price of just shy of $108,000 Canadian. Inflation certainly has gotten to these SUVs.
And it's just like, it's still crazy to think about, but we're just getting desensitized. It's like, yeah, it makes sense, hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, I'm starting to be like, it's not quite out there, but like, it's upcoming comparison, Navigator versus Sierra Yukon Denali. Both of those are 140.
It's like
the Escalade was 155. That used to be 120.
What are you guys doing for a living? Like, I want your jobs.
Right? So yeah, that's unfortunate a bit. 108K. It's not a bargain, but
it's definitely not a bargain.
I'm like, you know, it's okay. Is it okay? I don't know.
It's not a bad value. It just depends, I guess, what your budget is.
It's just out of my it's out of my price range for the next 10 years probably. So.
But then you know, in that $108,000 price range, there's a lot of competition.
But no one as big SUV is better than. No one as big SUV is better than the domestic ones. No one.
I'd have to agree, I guess.
And like, if you want anything this size, only other non-domestic, full-size non-domestic Nissan Armada. Otherwise, you don't like. Honda doesn't offer anything this size. Hyundai doesn't. No one. Toyota Sequoia.
That's also
Is that full size?
It's full size. That's also going to be in the 6-figure range as well.
Yeah, true. So I would stick to this or a Tahoe, fully optioned Tahoe. Just like this is like 112, so they really don't change much. I haven't been in the refreshed Tahoe. They're both amazing trucks.
Yes,
I love both of them. These are just my like. This is my future life goal. I want to have my house in the suburbs, and in like 15 years, bring my kids to like sports practice in one of these or a Tahoe. And then if I do that, I've succeeded in life. This is just my. I'm gonna be a boring soccer dad.
By that time, this car will cost $250,000
and be fully electric, or something.
But to be fair about the price, like you don't need to spec it like this.
No.
You don't need the kit wrench. You don't need the adaptive suspension if you don't.
Yeah, you can spec this down. You can get a reasonable Expedition for around 85, 90.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I listen. It's a lot of money. I just love these so much, and I don't look forward to getting back into a subcompact SUV tomorrow.
It's not going to be
different. Thank you for watching this video on JC Cars. Pure testosterone! Oh! What the is this piece of shit?
If you guys like the video, don't forget to hit the bell and subscribe. Should I just drive into a tree now, or?
And we'll see you next Friday at 8:15 a.m. Eastern for a whole lot more fun. Bye-bye.